Hi, everyone. Welcome, 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 welcome. This is going to be really great. We're super excited to have you all here with us today as we go through this very smooth presentation, hopefully to get you guys from hesitation to submission. We kind of curated this entire experience based off of a couple of questions that have come through our inbox, and also just want to prepare you guys for just along the way, along the journey as you go through your businesses, any community building support that you may need, and also digital presence support that you may need. So we'll get started. Of course, usually Samiyah and I are kind of behind the scenes. We're running the programs, we're running the events, we're running all the things. But this time we're front and center. So we're going to do a quick introduction. But while we're doing introductions on our end, I want you to do the same thing. So I want you to go up in the chat. Let me see where you're from, where you're coming from, what your business name is, and even drop your LinkedIn if you can, because this is great for community building. This is great for us to kind of get to know each other and really get to collaborate with each other, okay? So I'll get started. My name is Christine Joseph. I'm the community manager for Black Ambition. I work extremely closely with the semifinalists and the prize winners that come through our program, providing access to resources, tons of events, and so much more. So I'll pause there. I'll pass it over to my colleague, Samiyah.
Hi, everyone. So happy to be here with you all today. My name is Samiyah Malik. I'm the communications manager at Black Ambition. I manage all of our digital communications, such as our social media, our email newsletters, and our event communications. So happy to be here and looking forward to receiving your applications.
Perfect. So we're going to play a quick video. I know everybody's getting themselves into the chat, getting themselves situated. So we'll play this really great video so that you can get a little bit of an understanding as to who we are, what we're doing, and a little bit more about Black Ambition altogether.
It's high time that we own more companies. The only way to do that is to start a program where we look for the best of the best and the brightest.
Straight up. Cash in, cash out, cash in, cash out, cash in, cash out, cash in, cash out.
Joining me now is Chloe Cheyenne Rogers, founder and CEO at Community X.
Cash in, cash out, cash in, cash out, cash in, cash out. That creates healing in us. Cash out, cash out. So, are you ready to join the business? Okay. Start again.
It is Coach Antonio Quillan, banging and banging.
Call him new era, he capping. Yeah. Give him a type of
Usually $100 in cruise. 21 right now.
And in the fitness sport. Yeah. My bodyguard look like a horse. Straight up. She gonna set me up like it's a chore. Okay.
Hi, I'm Frisbee, and I'm the founder and CEO of Build Forum.
Port. Come on, side. This is not a port. A Porsche. Might turn me to an asshole. I ain't gonna lie. I was used to be a port.
Black Ambition is endless resources for Black and Brown entrepreneurs.
Be in a third world country in the middle of the slums. I'm gonna turn it to $1 million street. I made this, so it's $1 million.
I love that we're having this conversation around wealth building in our community and learning more about the various investment options.
Hop in a billion slide and what? Show my chain and you die. Say what? You know my method. I'm gonna turn shit red, man. This in your ass how high. Mama got a bed, she smiled. 21. Then she got a house, she cried. 21. Nigga took the stand, he lied. Held court in the streets and they gave me that lie. I'm getting bigger and bigger. What? No pockets little than little. 21. Put 100 bands on your head, now they jumping up and down playing monkey in the middle. She swallow all my kids, she a bad babysitter. Kim Jong-un in my pants is a missile. Friend of the family, I hit all the sisters. The mama love me, so she hit all my pills straight up. Cash in, cash out.
Hey, I know that bop. Everybody, has their head bopping and gets you a little energized to get started. So as we go forward, I want to make sure I share a little bit about Black Ambition Prize. I know you guys already know what that is. I know you guys are here for a reason, to learn all about how to advance your application, make it better, improve, all the things. So Black Ambition Prize is obviously Pharrell Williams' nonprofit organization committed to providing access and capital and resources and support and mentorship, and the list goes on, for Black and Hispanic entrepreneurs. And so we do that through a national prize competition, which the application is open right now, and we encourage you to apply. I know my colleague Samiyah has already stepped in, dropped the link in the chat already. Our application deadline was earlier in May. We have extended it to May 17th. And so as a part of the application, or sorry, not as a part of the program, once you become a semifinalist, you get 3 months of cohort-based mentorship with so many of our partners, leading VCs and other entrepreneurs. We have the AWS and digital cloud credits that you have access to, financial counseling, legal counseling, product placement and marketing support, wellness coaching, exclusive access to brands through strategic partners, and so much more, especially the fact that we get to leverage Pharrell's resources and network. So let me get a 1 in the chat, just a 1, let me just get a 1 if you've already submitted your application. I know the deadline is May 17th, and I know some of you are gonna wait until May 16th at like, 7:59 p.m. But let me get a 1 in the chat. Let me see who's already submitted. Okay, all right. Estrella's already submitted. Shai's already submitted. Nathaniel's, okay, Shaniqua, all right. Okay, I'm not mad at you guys, not one bit. Let me get a 2 if you submitted, but you unsubmitted because you saw that we gave you more time and you felt like you had to update a little bit. I see you. You are not alone. Tiana, Tyshawn, all right, Alicia, Morgan, I'm about to be 2. I see you. No shame in the game. You have time. Will be a 2. You have time, but not too much time. Don't get ahead of yourselves, but you do have a little bit of time. All right, so now that we've gotten the ground is clear, we have a little bit of an understanding as to what the Black Ambition Prize is. I want you guys, as we're going along in this chat, usually I'm lighting up the chat, Samiyah's lighting up the chat. I'm gonna need you guys to light up the chat. Drop your questions as we go along. We're gonna talk a lot about community building. We're gonna learn what it takes to build a strong community within your business. We're gonna learn what it takes to enhance your digital presence, overcoming submission hesitation, especially now. We're almost there. I've seen so many 90% completed, and you could just get past that little hurdle to get to that 100% submission. And so we're going to cover all of that, and then we're going to get into some frequently asked questions and leave room for some Q&A. But I want you guys, as you go along, as we go through this entire process, write your questions in the chat. Samiyah might be answering them in real time, but we'll make sure we get to everything at the end. All right, so let's get started with the community piece. First things first, it's so important to know that leveraging your community allows you to attract new business and also build a cult-like following to become a leader in your industry. It's a plus all around. There's a couple of importances around building community, and there's a reason why we want to make sure that you guys are leveraging this space. So with my background in community, and I know I may be biased, I've seen so many people grow almost unfairly, and I put that in quotation marks, but folks are able to grow beyond what's expected of them because they've learned how to leverage their communities. With their communities, they're able to tap into jobs, they're able to tap into speaking engagements, tap into media placements, tap into so many resources just because they've built a community behind them. We've seen recently, even Pinky Cole was able to leverage her community through a shared post where she gets to tap into her community to help advance other entrepreneurs that may be struggling at the time. That's what you get to do when you build a solid community. So a strong community can act as a catalyst for business growth, providing direct opportunities for collaboration and expansion. And as you grow, you can't grow alone. It's helpful to have partners. It's helpful to have others in the space that can lean on you and support your growth. But a big part of building a community helps add to your own credibility. And so members can serve as a brand ambassador for you, spreading word of mouth recommendations that are incredible for your credibility and, of course, for attracting new business. And ultimately, there's long-term sustainability by creating a loyal customer base that thrives on mutual success and support. Now, I know I just shared all the things that are super important to building a community, but how? Like, how do you build that type of community that has that cult-like following, that has all the things, right? And so I'll share 3 key tips here. There's so many more, but one is to identify who your community is and understanding their needs and interests to ensure relevancy and engagement. If you know who you're serving and if you know how to how these people are expecting you to serve them, you can now expect to show up for them in the way that you need to, right? If these people in your community are expecting you to post on a regular basis, it may be that, it may not be that. If you have a product-based company, then maybe your community is just expecting you to produce really, really great products that are consistent, that won't blow up on them, that will come to them when they receive their packages. It is completely normal and completely safe and secure, and everything is consistent. That might be just what your community is expecting. They may be expecting you to do more storytelling, but once you understand who you're serving, you can show up better for them. You can also empower your community members by involving them in decision-making processes. And we've seen time and time again, one of the best things for community building is when you build this space where people get to tap in on your decision-making process. They trust you. You're including them. You're including them in the product that you're choosing, whether you want them to have a blue label or a red label. Why? You get to include them, and it helps them to feel like they're voicing their ideas and their concerns, and you're listening to them. That matters. And ultimately, sharing the why behind your business always helps build that cult-like following. I'll give you guys an example that I'm sure most of us are very familiar with, and that is Beyonce's Beehive. So Beyonce's tribe, the Beehive, almost looks at Beyonce like Beyonce is mother, all right? That is how we identify her, okay? I say we, I'm a part of the Beehive. All right, but as long as it's clear, Beyonce's tribe will ride for her, they will rock for her, they will defend her, okay? We also have the Barbs. The Barbs might as well be in the studio with Nicki. Like, she might as well have them in the studio with them, because they will tell her, like, Nicki, that rap, that you can give us more. They are very enthusiastic about that tribe, being a Barb. And then Rihanna hasn't even dropped an album in God knows how long, but the Navy will never abandon her. These people have built such a tribe, such a community, and it's because the audience feels like they have a specific buy-in to their brand, not just the products or the services that they provide. It's more of the brand. They've built a culture around it. And so if you give to your audience fiercely in the beginning, you will build this cult-like community. And I say cult-like, I mean, that's probably not the best way to say it, but it is what it is. So if I were to Google your brand and nothing comes up, I'm less likely to trust you. If I look you up and there's workshops, there's resources, you've been speaking, you have a mic in your hand, there's photos of you interacting and engaging with your community, then I have more of a reason to trust you, and to trust that you have an expertise in your background and in your craft, in the work that you're putting out into the world. And so creating events that provide genuine value while positioning your brand as a leader helps with that, right? Creating workshops, having seminars, building out meetups, having a marketplace if you have a product-based business. These are things that help not only provide value, but to help put you out into the world. Then, of course, we have a shameless plug. If you are looking to participate in a lot of these workshops, seminars, meetups, participating in building your network, building your community, then I encourage you to check out the Black Ambition Resource Guide. I'll drop the link shortly, but the Black Ambition Resource Guide allows you to have key events at your fingertips, key programs, workshops, accelerator programs. All the things that support Black and Hispanic resources are in that resource guide. So I encourage you to check it out. And just in case y'all wonder, I can't see the chat. I see that it's lit in there. I just can't see it. So I will circle back, but I know Samiyah is in there. So direct all your questions in the chat. And then lastly, as you're building your community, it's nothing to go to all these events. It's absolutely nothing to build all these webinars and to build this space, this community space, if you're not going to follow up. You must become a follow-up ninja. Engaging with your attendees, not just your attendees, but attendees around you after an event makes you have all the resources at your fingertips as well. You have to understand that networking across is key. I may have a resource, or I may have completed a program, an accelerator program. I may have completed the Black Ambition Prize, and you would have never known if you didn't talk to me. If you did not talk to the people around you, you won't know the resources and the access that they have that they can just share with you. So tap into the community events and create your own. And then lastly, I'll share the key piece to building your community is to use your digital presence, use your digital platforms to strengthen your community. So on your platforms, I mentioned earlier, if you're using the space to build webinars and build workshops, et cetera, use the space to offer advice on social media platforms so that you can not only engage with your community, but create these groups of people who can ride with you. People follow people, right? Like I will follow like a person who's building something, and I love storytelling. I love watching the journey. People love a journey. So as an entrepreneur, especially as you're starting out, or if you've already been out here, tell your story. Leverage these social media platforms to get people to buy into who you are, and eventually they'll start buying in more into your brand, especially if your brand is consistent. If the company is consistent, then we're going to continue to ride for the brand, even if you eventually fall off. But start off by sharing a lot about who you are, maybe not even just who you are, but how your service or your business is supporting the community at large. Maybe you released a new product. You're releasing a newer version of your product, a new division of your business. These are things people want to keep up with and rock with. So share your story on your Instagram, or on your TikTok, on your platforms. Do it in your newsletter. Share updates and let people know, like, this is where you started and this is where you are now and this is where you're going. And people will ride with you along that journey. Another thing to keep in mind is to offer exclusive content to early access to products and services to your community that you're going to be launching. So if you're about to launch something, this is where you can tap into your hive or your Navy or whoever it is that you rock with, whatever you call your community, but tap into your tribe so that they feel important and feel special, feel like you haven't forgotten about them, feel like you're constantly thinking about them. And so tell them, hey, I'm about to launch this new thing. Sign up for this newsletter, build your audience, build your community by leading these like breadcrumbs of exclusive content so that people can feel like they're engaging with you and you're thinking of them by creating this specific resource for them. If it's not a resource, maybe it's a product. Maybe you're releasing some new product and you include a special little token, a little gift of appreciation in each package that you send out. There's so many ways to build your community that leaves a lasting impact. And lastly, leverage your analytics, your engagement, event attendance, newsletter, open rates, so many other things that you have in your toolkit that you can use to leverage your analytics to get bigger opportunities. If you're applying for the Black Ambition Prize right now, and you were recently featured in Forbes, you were recently honored by the president, I don't know, these are really big things that you want to highlight in your application. So one, big up yourself, right? Like gas yourself up, but use analytics to support or add credibility to the way that you're gassing yourself up. All of you have so much. You guys are doing so much. I know because I see all of your social media pages. I stalk people all up in the internet. Okay. Whenever I see you comment in the page, I'm clicking, I'm looking, I'm seeing, Samiyah's looking. So whenever you email us, we get a chance to look at who you are. And we see that you're doing amazing things. Take all of these wins, these engagements, the amount of people that show up to the community events you put together, the newsletters that you open up, and put them all in the application, in every application, to further gas up the work that you're already doing. All right, so I've shared as much as I can. I hope it was helpful. I'm going to pass us over to Samiyah so she can dive deep into the digital presence portion of this.
Thank you so much, Christine. That was incredible. And I really hope that everyone got a few key highlights on how to build your community and how community and digital presence are actually connected and intertwined. And so let's talk about having a strong digital presence, how that could transform your business, as well as how to use these strategies to not only engage your community, but convert them to real customers. So this is a few reasons why your online presence matters. So I really encourage every business to have a strong digital strategy because that will help your community understand who you are and distinctly share your mission and vision. And at the same time, it'll continue creating and developing those connections that you have created in your community. As business owners, you need to act as your digital presence is your portfolio. This is the #1 way that investors, VCs, as well as customers are interacting with you and seeing you online. So this means that your social media and your websites need to be updated regularly, and they should reflect your brand identity. So let's talk a little bit about what is brand identity. Brand identity refers to the collection of elements in your brand that portray your right image to your customer. This could be referred to your colors, your design, your logo, and any other elements in your brand that help identify and distinguish who you are. This is why it's really important to make sure that you're choosing colors that represent who you are. Your fonts should also be a reflection of who you are and include a positive imagery of your community throughout. And you can continue to learn about colors and typography and apply them to your brand. So in the next slide, we'll talk a little bit about website optimization and how this acts as your digital hub. So your website should have clear brand messaging, specifically on your homepage, because that's where most of your users will spend most of their time. So it should immediately communicate who you are, what you offer, and what makes your brand different. I would encourage you to come up with clear and concise statements that you can highlight at the top of your page or as a call out towards the bottom, as well as make sure that your website is optimized for mobile, because right now phones are actually our #1 way that we interact with each other. So I would imagine that over half of your web traffic is coming from mobile devices. And then make sure that you're embedding call to actions throughout your website. So these could be different buttons or call outs to subscribe, to join your waiting list, or to register for your next upcoming event. Another key aspect of managing your website is to make sure that you're refreshing your content either monthly or quarterly, whatever makes sense for you, but to regularly update your homepage to reflect new offerings, your updates. You can host articles or post blogs, and just keeping your site dynamic and engaging. So what's next? So after the website, I'd really love for you to focus in on your social media and mastering that art of social media and growing your brand online. For Black Ambition, social media is one of our #1 ways that we get the messages out there. And we have leveraged it in many ways to continue to reach entrepreneurs like you. So you can use social media to engage, interact, and repost what other people in your community are doing. So here are a few tips on how you can develop content for your social media. I recommend that you come up with a few themed days. So these are specific themes that you establish for different days of the week. For example, Motivation Monday, which I feel that is something that could be applied to many brands. And this maintains consistencies and builds audience anticipation. So then your audience will know what to expect in the coming weeks, and as well as maybe look up to you for certain content that you post and see you as a thought leader. Your content calendar is really important. This is something that you will refer to as a comprehensive monthly content report. It'll outline what you post, what time to post it, and on which platforms. And you can update this weekly and monthly. It's also important for us to practice trend monitoring or social listening. And this is when we keep an eye on emerging trends within the industry that you're in, as well as emerging trends on social media in general. So now that we've talked about the website and social media, I also wanted to share a few ways that Black Ambition continues to enhance our own digital presence. So the first post you'll see is our funding opportunity roundup. If you follow us on social media, I'm sure you're very familiar with this. We post this once a month, and we include at least 5 to 6 opportunities for entrepreneurs to apply for every month. And I think this also builds anticipation for us because people will continue to come to our page so they can find more opportunities in the future. And then what you see in the middle, highlighting one of our founders, Philomena Kane of Kin Apparel. This is called our founder highlights or founder wins. And so we often like to spotlight one of our community members and give them the mic to talk about their story, talk about their business, and any recent achievements that they may have. And I think this is a really great way that businesses can also spotlight their customers or their team members to make sure that people can see a face with the brand. And then project management tools for founders. This is an example of Black Ambition 101. So Black Ambition 101 is our educational and resource content. So we usually come up with a topic and break it down in 4 to 5 slides and give people advice on how they can improve that certain aspect of their business. So in this case, it was project management. And this really helps us set ourselves apart as educational and thought leaders in our industry. So let's continue and talk about the importance of storytelling and how it's actually an essential when it comes to content marketing. So storytelling is a powerful tool in content marketing and enables brands to connect with their audience on a deeper level. Just like Christine was saying, it's all about your story. So I would encourage you as a founder to take that leap and share your personal story. I know it could be a little uncomfortable and also sometimes intimidating, but by sharing your personal anecdote and a few behind the scenes content, it really creates genuine connection with your audience. People get to see a sneak peek on who you are, as well as learn about what got you from where you are today. And this also creates transparency, which builds trust and loyalty with your brand, which would then bring returning customers. It's really important to also include inclusive messaging within your storytelling. So this means to ensure that your content is inclusive, that it represents different demographics and perspectives, and that this broadens your appeal and helps in reaching your wider audience. And then at the same time, make sure you're collecting insights and analytics from your audience. This will let you know how things are performing, what was working, what's working for you and what's not, as well as any themes or formats that you could experiment with and how different stories perform across different platforms. And so I'd love to share one of our founder stories with you. And this is our Black Ambition Prize competition commercial, and it aired on Fuse Media this year. So let's take a look.
In 2022, I literally watched my warehouse burn to the ground. And then I won the Black Ambition Prize. It's your chance to win $1 million. The Black Ambition Prize competition is now open. Stop playing and apply now.
Playlist inspired me to apply to the Black Ambition Prize, and I ended up winning $250K.
Black Ambition is working to position diverse founders to excel uninterrupted. Apply now.
So in this commercial, the idea was that, well, first of all, we only had 30 seconds to complete our concept and story. And so within 30 seconds, I was able to combine and intertwine 2 founder stories, which was really exciting for us. And we basically shared how Chantel Powell of Play Pits inspired Myre from Ecom Spaces to apply, and that crossover between 2 founders. And we hope that that story inspires other founders to want to apply and see themselves in their shoes. So how will you apply all of these strategies that me and Christine shared with you onto your Black Ambition Prize application? So those of you who are restarting and editing your application, this gives you a really unique opportunity to now go back, pay attention to the detail that you had previously submitted, and ensure that every part of your application is filled out. We want to make sure that you pay attention to special guidelines and criteria and make sure that you're tailoring your submission accordingly. It's really important that you have concise messaging. This especially applies to our video. I know that's something that really stands out for everyone on the application. And so you have 90 seconds to communicate yourself and your brand to us and the judges. And we recommend that you focus on delivering a clear and concise message. Prioritize what are the key points of your business model, what the impact you're making, and what winning could mean for your brand. And ask for feedback. This is now a good time for you since you have between now and Friday. You can reach out to your peers and mentors or other industry experts you know to review your draft application and provide feedback. And then this can continue to cultivate a lasting relationship with your mentors, and you can reach out to them for more submissions. So how will we overcome submission hesitation? So we've received thousands of applications, and we're hoping that those people also convert into actually submitting their application. There are a few things that you should definitely work past. So perfectionism being one of them. As entrepreneurs, I know that oftentimes that we seek perfection, and it can often actually be a barrier to our progress. Of course, it's important to be as perfect as possible, but at the same time, you should aim to be more of someone who is on the path to progress and excellence. And I feel that your authenticity in your story would shine through. Focus on the positive impact that you're creating. Remind yourself that positive impact and the opportunities that you're creating for your community are really what is going to make you stand out. Winning can provide you not only financial support, but also networking opportunities and visibility, such as we recently hosted our founders at Louis Vuitton in New York for an amazing mentorship and learning labs experience. And now they have those connections to continue on with their businesses and produce more programs for their communities. And then, of course, conduct a final review. So take some time to review your application from top to bottom, again, with fresh eyes, and ensure that your application doesn't have any errors and clearly communicates your message. Okay, so here are a few FAQs. So frequently asked questions that we receive on social media and in our inbox. I also dropped our email in the chat. If you ever have any questions, you can feel free to reach out. So one of the main aspects about applying for the Black Ambition Prize is that you must apply as a team. And we wanted to break it down for you what that really means for us. So to apply as a team, you have to have at least one team member who is a part of the business. It should be someone who's playing a critical role in the venture, such as an employee, an essential contracted support, or a freelancer. And they should have responsibilities or specific work streams for deliverables for the venture. This is important because we know that you cannot do this alone. Although we may have started as solopreneurs or we birthed the vision on our own, we always need other people to come and support us and play their key roles in bringing the business forward. And then the other reason is because the Black Ambition Mentorship Program, which you will then step into when you receive the semi-finalist awards, is that it's a very intensive mentorship program. And so we want to make sure that you have someone who's dedicated to the prize and then someone who's also dedicated to continuing to build your business and applying the feedback that you receive to your business as well. What is an MVP? An MVP, or most viable product, is a product or design / sketch, wireframe, demo video, or landing page that helps your team collect the maximum amount of validated learning about customers with the least effort. So this could be a prototype if you're in the early stages, or it could be a full product if you've already launched. Eligible businesses. So what businesses are eligible to apply? For-profit businesses are currently eligible to apply in the fields of consumer products and services, healthcare, technology, AI, and/or media and entertainment. And we encourage you to, again, use your storytelling to apply and stand out.
Perfect. I just want to add 2 key points. So for the team, a question that comes up all the time is, you know, I don't have a co-founder, I just have a couple of employees, or I don't have W-2 employees, I have 1099 contractors. All of the above are included. You do not have to have a co-founder to be specific. It could definitely be a freelancer, a contractor, someone that works with you. Do you have to have paid them? No, like they don't have to be a W-2 employee in that sense. The other thing that comes up is, does your team lead have to be in the United States? Yes. Your team lead and the business has to be based in the United States, whereas although you are able to have your team outside of the United States in various parts of the countries, various other countries, that's fine, but the team lead and the business have to be based in the United States. Another point I want to make is regarding the MVP. I've gotten quite a few emails about folks who are not submitting their application because they do not have a website. And so this is MVP, but also on the application, it asks for a website. And folks literally will say like, oh, I have a business, I have all the things, but I do not have a website, so I am not submitting my application. I just want to let you know that Canva is a resource, okay? Canva is a very quick and affordable way to build your website, because Canva does have that capability. I don't know whether it's free or not, but at maximum, I believe you'd be spending $13. And so it's worth checking out and not skipping out. It's kind of like this opportunity cost, right? You can pay $13 or $30 to build your website that you can use for future use to potentially gain $1 million. I'm just saying, I feel like there's a win here to be considering. All right, so those are a couple of questions here, and I do believe we have some questions in the chat, but if you haven't already dropped your question, feel free to start dropping your questions in the chat and or raising your hand. Use the raised hand feature so that we can call you out, so that you can unmute, come on camera, etc., ask your question. So Samiyah, do you see any questions from the very beginning that you want to touch on?
There's some questions that just started coming in, so I'll start with Tyshawn. Can you be a pre-revenue business?
Yes. Sorry. If the question is just that, I thought there was more. If there's more.
I'm trying to read it through. Will our business still be considered if we portray that we have growth trajectory and LOIs from potential customers?
Got it. I feel like I need to read it too. But yes, you can be pre-revenue. So Black Ambition is open to early stage founders. And so we recognize the main thing to keep in mind is that you could not have raised more than $1 million to apply to this, this application. I almost want to go from the top down just so we don't miss any questions. Can you speak to what you're looking to be highlighted in the pitch video? Samiyah, I feel like you kind of touched on this in your presentation.
Yeah. Video, definitely. We want to see who you are, introduce yourself, introduce your brand. This could be a really good time that you include your elevator pitch, and you can get as creative as you want, or it could be a very simple video. So we've had videos ranging from someone recording themselves on their iPhone with a white background. And then we've also had teams that have worked with production teams and created a story and had clips involved. So it's whatever you can do within 90 seconds that easily communicates your business to us.
Perfect. Nishan or Nishan asks, does your team have to be employees? Can it be advisors and consultants? They sure can. As long as they're playing a critical role in your venture, they are welcome to be listed as your team. Yamile maybe, asked, I'm in a very small startup nonprofit focused on space tech, the commercialization of space. We have the community, but need access to funds to build and grow. Do you think we even qualify if we are a nonprofit? No, ma'am. Unfortunately, the application is open to for-profit businesses, so nonprofits are not eligible to apply at this time. Oh, Samiyah already beat me to it. Perfect. All right, so I will scroll all the way down to Niambi, sent me a direct message. I have a big opportunity that launches in September, but hasn't been announced yet. Am I able to refer to it in my application?
Yes.
So yeah, you're definitely welcome to refer to it. I guess if you're wondering, will we announce it or will we expose it or do anything like that? We won't be promoting anything. So it is safe with us. It definitely helps add to your application. All right.
Yeah, and you can always write a note that says like, please keep this confidential or anything along those lines, and we'll promise to do that as well.
I'm also going to shout out Tyshawn, who says Marvel is also a tool that can be that you can use to create prototypes for free. Shout out to the knowledge sharing in the chat. All right, Shaniqua, we're at your question, and I see your hand is raised. Do you want to unmute?
Yes, thank you. I know you guys touched a little bit on the video, but I wanted to specifically just clarify because the application and what you guys are saying is a little bit different. So the application asks for us to share or show our demo of our MVP in the presentation. And then you guys mentioned, showing your personality, your business model. And I know we have 90 seconds, and I want to make sure I'm able to clearly convey all the points in 90 seconds. So which should I be prioritizing? Because the demo of the product or the business model and the impact?
That's a great question. I feel that you would have to split it up, honestly. Of course, the demo should be highlighted, but also take time to make sure that you're talking about impact, you're talking about your numbers or who you are, because I feel all those aspects stand out. And then the other thing to think about with your video is that should you advance in the competition, when we're in the finalist round, we do a public voting round as well, which these videos will be used, and the public will have the opportunity to view your video to vote for who they would select. So that's also a good angle to use for your audience on who would be watching this. Basically, the best way I could summarize it is if you were to have to pitch on stage in 90 seconds, I feel that this is what that video would represent.
Okay, perfect. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate that.
Of course.
Monique, do you want to also go ahead and unmute, ask your question?
Yes. Hello. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. This is so beneficial to this grant. So I did put in the chat, how do you determine if the recipient is going to receive the minimum or maximum amount as far the grant? Because isn't it starting at 20,000 to 1 million?
25,000 all the way up to.
25.
So the way we do this is definitely leaning on so many of our partners. As we mentioned, you go through the 3-month mentorship, you'll have a mentor. Your mentor will be able, of course, your involvement, your attendance to all of the sessions that we put together adds to that. There will also be judging, and after the 3 months, there will be a couple of judges that get to go through your business and see your growth from the 3 months. And so there's a couple of different factors that play into it. The Black Ambition team, we keep our hands free of all of the judging and deciding for this entire process. But after all of the judging, we'll also do founder interviews toward the end and then narrow down a good group of 30 to 35 prize winners.
Okay, got it. So first you become a winner, and then after that you get like the mentorship and different things like that.
First, you become a semi-finalist. So as far as like the steps of this goes, after we close the applications in May 17th, we'll have a ton of application reviewers going through the applications. And I did see a question about whether we provide feedback to applicants. We do provide high-level feedback on the applications. And by we, I mean the application reviewers that we work with. Thankful to all of our partners in that sense. After we've reviewed all of the applications, we'll be narrowing down all of our applicants down to 250. And so that group of 250 will become semi-finalists. And that's when you become, you go through the 3-month mentorship program. So tons of great, deep support that comes from that program. There will be an opportunity, as Samiyah mentioned, to participate in a public voting round. And so the person who gets the most votes from the public voting round will be able to receive a prize from that as well. Then there's the judging, so that and the application, judging and interview process. And then from there, we go to demo day, where about 8 to 10 founders will be able to pitch on stage. But then we narrow all of that down to 30 to 35. And that's how we know who our prize winners are. I hope that's helpful and clear.
Wow. Okay.
Any other questions?
Good. Nope, not right. I probably will have one or two later.
Yeah.
Yeah, as of right now that I see there's steps to it. It's just not like, okay, you became a finalist and here's the grant, you know, like some grant programs. So that's good.
And thank you, Samiyah, for adding some context. So we do our best to give feedback, but we receive thousands of applicants and then sometimes aren't able to ensure everyone gets feedback. I'll also note, like, we're going from thousands to 250 to 35. So it's a lot to get through. Morgan asked, oh, shout out to Samiyah. She's already getting into it. I'll read them out loud for those who are going to watch the recording. What if the team member doesn't have a LinkedIn page? Samiyah says that's okay, as long as the team lead has one, and they do in this case, which is great. And the LinkedIn question is not, it doesn't have an asterisk, it's not required. The website is required though. Niambi, I see a hand raised for you in my chat. Do you have a question that you want to ask out loud? Okay. Just in case you do, feel free to let us know. Miguel, I'm launching a coffee and plant shop. Would my retail niche be an eligible business type? Samiyah says yes. This would likely fit into consumer products and services. Tiana asks, should we highlight other major programs we've done? Samiyah says absolutely. Yes, definitely. After the application closes, what is the time frame for applicants to be notified of the selection? By early June. And then what is the application? What time is the application due on the 17th, 9 p.m. Eastern? Is there a place where we can find the winning videos of previous applicants? And actually, yes, if we don't have that in here, I'll make sure I find it for you all. All right, and then you all know you can always check us out or send further questions at info@Black Ambition Prize, and I know Samiyah is already putting that in the chat as well. Any further questions? And I might just take a second to pull up that public video from previous years. Samiyah, I'll pass it over to you.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us today, everyone. We had such great questions, and I hope you also had the opportunity to connect with each other. I want to make sure that everyone takes the time to connect with Black Ambition as well. You could follow us on all platforms at Black Ambition Prize, specifically on Instagram and on LinkedIn. And as always, you can email us at info@blackambitionprize.com. And then, as you know, the Black Ambition Prize deadline extension is closing this Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern. So make sure that you submit your applications by then. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us on email or DM. And then you also have a few last minutes to ask any questions right now. But we appreciate all of you and we're wishing you all the best. Thank you.